Now, if you are a people pleaser and you would like to change this way of being, I'm not going to say it's really easy, but I will say it is so worth it. Hi, I'm Kelly Hine. Do you identify as a people pleaser? They do so much for others, but then end up feeling taken advantage of. Is this you or someone you know? Historically, it was viewed as just what a good woman does. But years of people pleasing can tend to lead to resentment and anger and often loneliness when those that we're caring for are no longer around. But why do some of us tend towards more people pleasing to the detriment of ourselves than others? Well, the typical people pleaser tends to want to avoid conflict. They often have low self-esteem. They are people pleasing in a way that they're wanting to get love. They just want to be loved. And there's a belief there that if they can make other people happy, then they will be happy. And another reason we can do it, in addition to those other reasons, is to keep busy, because keeping busy means that we can avoid internal reflection. There are things that we might not want to see, that we might not want to look at, and by staying busy, we get to avoid that. But what you're doing is taking so much responsibility for other people's happiness, other people's needs, and not taking responsibility for your own. Now, if you are a people pleaser and you would like to change this way of being, I'm not going to say it's really easy, but I will say it is so worth it. It's so worth it because you get to feel the true fulfillment of being authentically you. And trust me, the flow-on effects that it has to others are wonderful. It's not selfish. So I want to outline some steps to the solution. First of all, we've got to get really honest about what we're doing and why we're doing it and how it feels deep down, and does it feel true and authentic? And secondly, we've got to be willing to change that part of our identity if it's not serving us. You know, the people pleaser does often tend to have so much anger brewing under the surface because they have sacrificed and done so much for others to the detriment of themselves. You need to be willing to have courage. Yes, it takes courage to do this, and courage to begin to let go of worrying what other people will think, seeking love outside of ourselves, trying to feel good about ourselves by doing things for others. Now, this is not to say that we don't love and serve and give to others, but when we do it from that very loving, secure place, it is so different to when we're doing it with an agenda to feel better about ourselves. It requires us to set boundaries, especially in the beginning when others might notice that we're no longer willing to bend over backwards in the way that we might have before. And the thing is, if you are people pleasing to the detriment of yourself, that's not good for others either, really, in the long run. But it might just trigger them if you start to change your old ways of being. So you've got to be willing to set boundaries with people. And then lovingly take the time to look within. Look deep within. Look at what does light you up, what makes you happy. Now, this is not about going cold turkey on doing things for people, or no longer helping people, no longer caring about people, not at all. This should not hurt anybody else. It should not be to the detriment of anyone else. But as I said, it might just trigger people at the beginning, and that's why you need to have courage and just keep on being true to you. In the long run, you will be a much more happy and fulfilled person, and that will have a wonderful flow-on effect to others around you. And the connection you have with others can be much more genuine than a connection that's based on you doing so much for other people. In fact, by you being authentically you, ultimately you will do more for others in that way, by shining your light, by giving others permission to love and care for themselves in that way. Ultimately, that's our biggest responsibility, and it is what's best for others in the long run. So if you're a people pleaser, I hope that you found this helpful, or perhaps for someone that you know. Please share this with others that you think will find it helpful. And if you haven't already subscribed to my updates and freebies, you can do that over at kellyhine.com. Thanks for listening. I will see you next time.